coming up to appraise your house.
Pop, 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 pop.
I look like I'm all sweaty, but it's just because I wetted down my hair.
That's a very like man thing to do. Like you go to the bathroom and you like get a little bit of water and you
Yeah. Well, especially when you're a POV YouTuber and you wear hats regularly, that kind of like
you have to
damp your hair.
I just wear a hat all the time now.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Because my hair was so long that I like couldn't wear a hat for the longest time. So now I'm like enjoying actually being able to wear a hat again.
Right, that's fair.
And you will later be at the location that I purchased this hat.
Could it be Los Angeles?
LAX. No, literally LAX.
Oh, you purchased it.
Are you flying into LAX?
Yes.
Okay.
Why did you purchase a hat at LAX?
I did. I purchased a hat.
Why?
I don't know. Walked by it and I was like, oh, an LA hat.
Fair enough.
Buy it.
Okay.
From LA.
Well, the most successful podcasts all have one of the two members wearing a hat. So we're on the right track.
All right.
Yeah.
That's a good sign.
It's a secret
You're welcome.
podcast rule.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Welcome to episode 30.
No way.
Yeah, 30.
We're in our 30s?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yep. Yeah, we're going to hit the 1 year mark in 22 weeks, and that's pretty exciting.
That
is
over
pretty
halfway.
Cool. Yeah. You,
Me,
Chris,
own
a lot of German luxury cars. You own 2 Mercedes, 2 BMWs, a Porsche, but you don't own any Audis.
I don't like Audis.
If you had to put an Audi in your garage,
Oh, yes.
which would you get?
An R8. Or you mean realistic? If I had to realistically put an Audi in my garage, probably like an old, like a wagon of some sort, like a V8 wagon. Do they ever do a V8 wagon? They do a V10 wagon?
Not in America, I don't think. They did bring the S6, the non V10, the previous gen S6
Okay, so
to America,
probably a V8 S6 Avant. I don't know. I've just never been like an Audi person. I don't. They don't
More of
like.
an innie.
They don't interest me. Like honestly, like no Audi. Like I've never. Oh, you know what? Maybe an RS7. I like the RS7.
That actually, surprisingly enough, is one of like the top 10 cars I've ever driven.
Yeah, I think the RS7. I think the RS7 is sweet.
One.
Yeah, no, like
the first gen RS7.
Yeah.
Gosh,
so I guess
a sexy
that's,
car.
or even an S7 actually,
cool.
because those still have a V8.
Even those A7s were beautiful.
Yeah.
And that A5 generation. My mother actually considered buying one of those because it was such a beautiful car, and
Yeah.
it was like every 10 years or so, some brand releases like a gorgeous coupe, and that was the one of the late 2000s.
Yeah.
That A5.
And I was going on to say that I've never gone to Auto Trader or anything and like actually looked up an Audi with intention to purchase, but I did go through a very short phase before my Cayman where I was considering an S7, not an RS7, but just like a
because you're reasonable.
Yeah, just like a V8 S7, but I decided against it and decided to get something extremely impractical instead.
Which was
My Cayman.
Oh,
Cayman S.
fair enough.
I bought a Cayman S.
You're much
instead.
better off with the Cayman S.
Yeah.
Let's see, Audi. Let's start with the RS7 and just see.
Well, you see, I did that too, and then I realized that they're like 80 grand still.
How long ago was this?
Oh,
it would have been before you bought your Cayman.
yeah, so it was 2019.
Would you like to buy an RS7 Prestige from TCF Auto Wholesale, only 25 miles away?
No.
Are you sure?
Guaranteed, if not salvage title, it has an accident on the record. It's also not a good spec.
Also looks like it's right
Look
up
at the
my drive
trunk
shaft.
alignment. Something's wrong with that.
Yeah.
The taillights don't line up
Gosh,
properly.
it's such a sexy car.
It is a good
There aren't too many cars I'd want to do black wheels on, but I might murder out an RS7.
I thought you were going to say there aren't many cars I'd like to do black tar heroin in, but this would be one.
Look at those delicious rotors. What's up with that?
Oh. That's strange.
That is strange.
Maybe they're like extra cooling elements or something.
Maybe. I mean, honestly, this car doesn't look in
I
that
love
bad of
the-
shape, but they
I
know
love
how to
the,
put paint on or lipstick on a pig.
Yeah, right. I love the Audi RS quilted seats.
Yes, I do too. Let's see the description. This is a very nice, extra clean, pre-owned luxury rocket ship. Okay, well, they at least know how to use some descriptive words.
Oh, yeah. Is there a...
Is there a Carfax?
Nope. Why would there be? Why would there be a Carfax?
Auto wholesale.
Ooh, they've got a new X5M.
And an
I haven't driven that
RS5.
yet. The viewers can't see it. Just so you
No,
know.
the viewers can see this. They just can't. They see whatever's on the computer screen.
Oh, okay.
There's an auto
another
check.
RS7. What?
There's an auto check. Is this not the same
That's
RS7?
a
we're
different RS7. That one's more expensive.
looking at? I clicked on this one.
Yeah, that's a different one because it's
you're
got
right.
red
There's
brake
a blue
calipers
one,
and
though.
this one has black brake
The
calipers.
report not found. That's good. Let's see if they have any reports.
They want people to scroll by and say, "Oh, the auto check's there. I don't need to click on that."
Look at this. 96 on the auto check.
Is that the same car?
No, this is the $58,000, $59,000.
That's an
blue one.
A7.
RS7 right here.
Oh, the wheels made me think it was an A7.
Yeah, those are some interesting wheels.
Okay then.
So about 60 grand.
Never judge a book by its cover, ladies and gentlemen.
Right. Is there a VIN? Let's just Google the VIN. Sometimes that'll give you some.
It pops up at Copart.
Right. Well, I mean, they did get it from wholesale. Let's see. We're bringing up photos.
Why are we talking about Audis?
Because I asked you which Audi you'd actually like.
Oh. Maybe also an RS3. Though I've never driven an RS3, so have you driven an RS3?
I think I've driven the TTRS with the same powertrain.
Okay, how was that?
Fun.
Okay.
Very lively engine. It's very nice. Yeah, here's their 3 that they have listed.
That's
and
the blue
then,
that I
ooh,
would desire
that
to
is
have.
quite nice.
Yeah.
And then, okay, so here's 61.
Something also
Oh, wait,
we
we're
don't
not
really
sorted by price.
realize or think about with Audis is that they have a lot of like paint to sample sort of like exclusive colors. They call it Audi exclusive. But I went on to build a Q3 just because I was like, sometimes before I shoot videos, I like to like go through the build configurator and just kind of see the options and whatnot. And the first thing is obviously the colors, and there's like a whole bunch of Audi exclusive. It's $5,000, which
Worth it in that car.
yeah,
Look at
I
this.
just thought that was cool.
This is at a Porsche dealer, 2014 RS7 Prestige, 50 grand, 67,000 miles, presumably a clean title if it's at a Porsche dealer. The first feature they list is the auto tilt-away steering wheel.
And Bang & Olufsen sound system. Wow, they saw you coming. They go sound system and
And
power
tilt wheel.
steering column.
Yeah, I honestly, for what you're getting for that price, if you could tack on some sort of extended warranty, not too bad of a pickup, because that car is pretty cool. The Audi that spoke to me first, especially when I was younger, was after playing Need for Speed Underground 2, is the Audi A3. Always the little A3 Sportback thing, the first gen.
hatchback thing.
Yeah. I always thought that would be such a cool little daily driver, especially because you could get the diesel. You could get a diesel manual mini wagon in the States. That's
Were they 4-door or
yeah,
2-door?
Yeah, 4-door. It was a functional little car.
Okay.
I just don't think they're very reliable.
You could also get an EV version of that, couldn't you, later on? A3 e-tron?
It was called the e-tron, but it's
Oh, but it was
deceptive.
a-
I believe it's a plug-in hybrid.
Plug-in hybrid. Okay.
Yeah, and with a pitifully low battery range, like 16 miles.
Okay, well, they tried.
Yeah,
was a little
around
early.
that time, that
And
wasn't too uncommon.
I only mention this because I used to see them around Chicago all the time.
Okay.
Like, which is the perfect place for it, you know?
Yeah. If
You
16
can
miles
use your
could last you a
16
little while,
miles, just
yeah.
shoot around the city, and that's it.
Yep. So you probably wouldn't put any Audis in your garage, but how was it spending
think
time with an Audi this week?
It was fine. So this week we had a 2022 Audi Q3 45 S-Line Quattro. Did I get that all?
I believe so.
So it was one of those cars that I would call it forgettable, but also it did a good job at being forgettable. There were no real annoyances in the interior. Everything was very cohesive and made sense. I think it's one of those cars that anyone can get in and understand how to work everything. I think it's very attractive design. They did a good job facelifting the Q3 because I used to hate the Q3. I thought it was hideous, but now with
Now
these,
it's less so?
yeah, it's less hideous now. No, I think it's actually an attractive car. I also used to be hateful towards all subcompact SUVs because when they first came out, I didn't understand them.
Yeah.
Because I hadn't driven any. In fact, I think the only one I had driven, no, actually, and you'll understand why my opinion was skewed. The only two that I had driven were the Chevy Trax and the Ford EcoSport, which are by far the worst two on the market. So now that I've driven Mazda CX-30, Audi Q3, what's the Toyota thing?
The Chur?
No, not
CHR?
that. No, not that one. The Corolla Cross. I didn't
Oh.
think the Corolla Cross was that bad. It's
Mm,
car,
yeah.
but it wasn't
Yeah.
terrible. The Honda HR-V and other things.
Mm-hmm.
I don't hate the segment anymore, and this Q3 has actually been one of my favorites in the segment.
That's pretty good praise.
Yeah.
Just wait till we get an X1. But yes,
Yeah, well, the X1 is new now.
it will be.
It will be new.
Here are some of the packages we had on the car. The car starts for the, well,
For the 45.
it makes it look like, for the S-Line 45 TFSI Quattro.
You can get one for 36 if you get the worst. It's the same engine. It's just like tuned down, detuned.
Yeesh, I would not want to have this motor detuned.
Yeah, it makes like 40 less horsepower.
Ugh.
Yeah, that would be like a total dog.
But you're about 40 grand out the door for the base car. Not too bad. Ours paid $600 for the glacier white metallic paint.
You don't need that.
Yeah, Chris has an opinion about paying for white paint, which I can kind of see. Every now and then there's a particularly beautiful white, like what we had on that Genesis. But
Matterhorn white.
yeah, Matterhorn white. That was a cool white.
That was
kinda
cool,
matte.
yeah.
But fortunately, the black interior is included. The Premium Plus package gets you adaptive cruise control with lane guidance. Was the lane guidance any good?
It didn't do anything. It just vibrated at you if you went out of the lane.
Fair. Alarm system with motion sensor. You'd think that would be a standard thing, you'd hope.
Sonos.
Well, maybe not with the motion sensor part. The Audi Advance key. I don't know what Audi phone
Sonos
box
is in tech package actually.
A few other things like garage door opener. The LED headlights would be nice to have, and the memory for the seats, and the top view camera system. So I could see someone paying the $3,300
So you don't need black optic, you don't need 20-inch wheels, and you don't need glacier white.
Right. So the black optic pack sport package is $1,700, and it comes with 19-inch wheels above the stock 18s, high gloss black exterior accents, and the sport front seats.
You don't need those.
But whoever spec'd this car also paid an extra $800 for the 20-inch wheels on summer tires. So they pretty much negated paying for those 19-inch wheels.
Yeah,
which is
well,
kinda
they
silly.
knew whoever spec'd this new journalists were going to be going around corners too fast, so they wanted to make sure the car could handle.
Yes. Right. That is true. So
I know this is solely built for the whatever at car and
Skid
driver
pad.
skid pad.
Yep. This is the car and driver spec. Yeah. So all in about $49,000. But I think
They build it in Hungary.
yeah. Were you feeling ravenous while you were driving?
Yeah.
That's why.
Okay.
$49,000, but I think you could get away with speccing one of these for right about 45, 46 and be fairly comfortable.
You could have a nice spec for 45.
Yeah.
And if you wanted to put your $5,000 elsewhere, you could get an Audi exclusive paint color.
Yes. Yeah. that would
But
be
there
cool.
are some cool standard colors.
All right.
There's like a bright, like a Focus RS blue you can get, and then there's also a bright, like a Guards red.
Can you get orange?
I think there was an orange. I think
Okay.
there was, yeah. I may be mistaken.
Kind of
but
that burnt Audi orange.
yeah, I think you can.
Yeah. We'll be getting the Lexus UX soon, which is fairly dated, but it'll be interesting to see how you feel about that.
I'm scared of that car. I think I'm gonna go in with low expectations, and maybe it'll surprise me.
Yeah. I think that's
Yeah, because the UX is actually one of those cars that I have not driven yet.
I seem to have washed something in these pants.
Was it me?
No, Chris Brower, you still haven't been washed. No, it was a hotel keycard pack.
You know what's funny about the Lexus UX?
The UX.
The UX. I went to Northwood University for college, and for 2 of my years there, they do an auto show every year. They put the kids in charge. I was captain of Team Lexus, and I had a Lexus UX both years, and I didn't even sit in it because I was that disinterested. I made someone else deal with the UX every time. So, because obviously I had the LC500, and I had a GSF one year, which was sweet.
Yeah.
That was now if you're Lexus and if you're the people at Lexus that loaned me that GSF, don't listen to this next part. But I hit my I got my allegedly got my top speed in that car prior to the Alpina B8.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Nice. GSF is a cool car.
Yeah, I got to drive that GSX from Grand Rapids to Midland. So, if you give a 19-year-old keys to a GSF to go,
Is that I-69?
maybe it was an empty road. I just hauled ass the
I was
whole
going
time.
to say, I'm pretty sure that highway
I
is
went so fast.
fairly desolate.
I was thinking like they probably have like a tracker in this car. They're gonna get back and be like, "Who drove 140 in this
Right.
this car?"
Yeah. And then the Alpina just shattered that within
I went
a much shorter amount of distance.
Yeah,
'cause
I
that car is so
breathed
fast.
upon the throttle in the Alpina, and I went 149.
Yeah. And a closed circuit in Mexico.
Both of these instances I'm discussing were on closed courses, and for that period of time, I decided to be a professional driver.
Yeah.
So don't try this at home.
Well, you were kind of getting paid. You're getting paid in experience. So
I was getting paid
professional.
well, yeah.
Yeah, GSF, cool car, rest in peace.
Dude, oh my God, such
Alpina
a cool car.
V8, cool car.
Talk about
Still
a car
alive.
that's held its value. GSF. Yeah, they're so
Just-
expensive. That was another car I thought maybe I'd be able to obtain, and then I looked it up and I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well,
It's the problem with the GSF is it's one of those cars that's cooler in theory than it actually would be to own. Because like your Cayman, for example, is decently cool in theory, especially for someone maybe who's not that into Porsches specifically. It's like, oh yeah, those are cool.
it
whatever.
looks awesome.
But then when you drive it, it's like automotive perfection.
It really is.
Yeah.
Every time I get in that car, I'm just like, why don't I drive this more?
Right.
This is just like the best.
Excellent. But a GSF would be like, oh, cool, a GSF. And then after you drive it for like 100 miles, you'd be like, I'm bored.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, as a 19-year-old, though, I was very thrilled.
Sure.
Or maybe
sure,
I was
sure.
20.
Oh, yeah, it's
I was
definitely
20.
a cool car to
Yeah.
have around. But I'm saying if you were to have purchased one.
Right.
Yeah. Yep. No, Q3, good car.
Good car.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. Leaps and bounds better than the A3.
Yeah.
I didn't love the A3.
I didn't hate the A3, but you're right. It's one of the few times where I would actually recommend the SUV version.
Me too.
To someone.
The A3 felt so much cheaper. It felt like a...
Felt like a fancy Passat or a Jetta. You didn't.
Yeah,
care for
it felt like a Jetta, or even smaller. It felt like a
Right.
like a up exclamation mark.
Whereas this does not feel like a Taos.
No, it does not.
Not at all. Well, the Taos isn't a bad car either. But this feels
I didn't love the Taos.
fair enough. Well, I don't think anyone's supposed to love the Taos. Although it does come in some fun colors. Yeah. BMW iX, the other
Yeah.
luxury German car we had this week.
Yeah.
A car
How'd that end for us today, Charlie?
So, Brower and I go out to shoot our review, and we're shooting, having a good time, doing pulls, hurting each other's necks because it's so aggressive in its acceleration. And overall, a fan of the car.
Oh yeah, totally.
And we came down the highway section of the DM test route, and I saw an early 2000s, what it seemed, early 2000 teens.
Early 20 teens, yeah.
Volvo S60 T6 pulled over on the side of the road. I said, that looks a lot like our old Volvo S60 T6. I wonder if it was. So we looped back around the highway section, and I pulled off in front of the car. Sure enough, checked the VIN. It was my old car with a flat front left tire. Just destroyed. Not even just flat. It was like shredded up, blown out. Yeah. Rest in peace, Morgan, who purchased that car. I hope she's getting the spare wheel and tire that I gave her from somewhere and installing it.
Yeah.
And pro tip, and I'm not going to mansplain to her and tell her what to do with her life. However, it would be smart of her to limp that car off the highway before changing the tire, because it's the tire is on the outside of the car
Right.
facing the
So
highway.
you're facing the road.
Yeah, and there's
Lots
just
of peril.
Yeah, I would not. I've always told anyone
She is
I care
listening
about,
right now. So
yeah, I'm sure she is.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she'll be sure to listen to this before she goes and picks up her
That's
car.
right.
on the
Yeah,
side of
she's
the road.
waiting. She's like, you
waiting
know
to-
what? There's probably a podcast that I need to listen to before I go out and service my car.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. But I've always told anyone I love and care about, who I can mansplain to, that if you ever get a flat on the highway, like, it's worth it to damage the wheel and just drive slowly and get off the highway before you attempt to change the tire. I mean, unless, I guess, if you want to send it to like one of those like emergency pull-off areas where you're at least off the highway by a
Yeah.
decent bit.
Crash investigation. Center.
Yeah, exactly. But anyway, so I hope she does do that before anyone changes the tire. And but anyway, so we had pulled off to investigate the VIN of the Volvo, which indeed turned out to be my old car. And then when we set back off in our iX, we noticed the low tire pressure light was on the iX. And
We ran over whatever she did.
yeah, somehow we hit a nail as well. And unfortunately, the nail didn't stay in the tire, which would have been fine if it had. But it punctured the tire and then evacuated itself.
Yes.
So now the iX is slowly deflating outside our
Probably
garage
totally
right now.
flat
It's
by
probably
now.
flat by this point. Yeah. Which is sad because they were supposed to pick it up today. I mean, I guess at least we got all our filming in. But
Whatever journalist that was supposed to go to. We're so sorry.
Yeah.
We didn't mean to do it.
well, it's just a waterfall effect from whatever journalist damaged the windshield on the iX we were supposed to get last week and put us back by 2 days. So if we put some other journalist back by 2 days, it wasn't our fault.
Yeah.
We lost 2 days. Yeah. Either way, iX is pretty cool. Very futuristic.
Hans Zimmer.
Hans Zimmer makes the noises. Chris Bangle does not make the design, unfortunately, or else it'd be much more attractive.
I wouldn't be surprised if that was his design. I saw a video the other day of someone running an E65 Bangle 7 Series with no oil till it blew up.
How long did it last?
Quite a while.
Well-designed motor.
Yep.
Great car. We should do a cheap car challenge where we have to buy cars we hate.
We should, because then I could have an E65. I feel like you don't hate many cars, do you?
Yeah.
You could be in like some GM shit. Yeah, it'd be some like old GM like.
It'd be a Chevy Equinox. It'd have to be.
It'd be an Equinox. Yeah,
it'd have to be a Chevy Equinox.
You'd be in like a early Equinox.
It'd have to be an early second gen though, because I don't hate, but I don't really mind.
What about a Pontiac Torrent?
Torrent's okay.
Why? Why is that even considered okay to you?
Because Pontiac's a dead brand, which makes it cooler. It's an orphan brand.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Pontiac, what was their slogan? Fuel for the soul? I think that was for a while there.
I don't know, but I wish they would have kept Pontiac instead of Buick.
Yes, but all the old people who buy Buicks likely have much higher transaction prices.
They're not even Buicks anymore. I guess it's just because they need
it's on the badge.
The boomers.
Yep.
Well, in 10 years when the boomers are...
Then they can kill Buick, bring back Pontiac.
Yep.
And then we will be boomers by then. And we'll go, oh boy,
Pontiac
new electric Pontiac G8. And
I was
we'll
gonna say,
rush down to the dealership and purchase
Pontiac would be sweet as an EV brand.
Yeah, they could legitimately bring it back. Just like they're bringing Hummer back as an EV brand. It'd be very smart.
Yeah.
Yeah. What were we? Oh, yeah. What would Amos have to buy? A car he hates?
He doesn't hate many things at all. I don't know that I've ever heard him hate.
I'm
Maybe
sure there's
Subaru?
a car. I'm sure. Let's call him right now and ask what car he hates.
Okay. I don't think he would use the word hate though. You might have to say what like your least favorite car.
Well, the satisfying thing about Chris is when he does when he is passionate about something, it's a big deal.
Big hate.
Yeah.
Tell him it can be used.
It has to
be used.
Chris, do you have a moment?
Yeah.
You are live on the Daily Motor podcast, and Chris and I have a question for you.
Shoot.
We are envisioning a cheap car challenge where the three of us have to purchase cars that we detest, that we don't like at all. Chris Brower would be in an E65 BMW. I would be in a Chevy Equinox. What would you get?
Oh my gosh, what do I hate more than anything in this world? I don't know.
It's probably a Subaru Ascent.
That would be too expensive.
New cars.
Yeah, that would be.
I was gonna say, I feel like there aren't many used cars that.
Yeah, what's something from like the early 2010s or 2000s or 90s that anytime you get behind one, your skin crawls?
I think I'm gonna have to think about that a little bit.
Okay,
Yeah.
think about it and then shoot me a text if you come up with an answer within the next half hour, and we'll let we'll let William Long know, the only person listening by this point.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay, all right, we'll catch you soon.
All right, have fun, guys.
Thanks, bye. Yeah, stay tuned to hear the Topher's answer.
Speaking of Will, he sent me something that he wanted me to show you last week, and I apologize that I forgot to show Charlie last week. But now that you brought him up, I'll show you.
Okay.
He sent me some photos that he wanted me to share with you.
I wonder if he's ever messaged me and I've like missed his message or something.
Probably.
Because
you never go on Instagram, do you?
Not often, no. Oh boy, let me see.
Here you go, Will. I'm showing you. Just scroll through those.
For those listening.
So this is what I was saying you should do with Peggy.
There's not going to be any nudes if I scroll too far, will there be?
I don't think so, unless he sent some today that I didn't see.
Okay. This is a, whatever generation this is, the Dodge Grand Caravan, similar to
bubble
mine.
Caravan.
They're the mid-2000s. Convertible.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't swipe. I have to click.
You can't
Wow,
swipe.
someone has chopped the roof. And you might hate me for this. I don't hate it.
No, I don't either.
It looks kind of cool.
Yeah.
Wow.
No structural rigidity anymore.
No.
So like, hope
no
that,
rollover protection whatsoever.
Could you imagine getting hit in that? It would go. Do you think it would go like this, or do you think it would go like this?
I think it would be like a slinky and just
And flex.
Big flex. Wow. Can you imagine how quickly the interior would just get scorched?
Oh,
Things
yeah.
would disintegrate from the sun. Wow. This is what I should do. I should I should do this to the van and then kick Alyssa out of the garage at my house so I can park it inside.
Yeah, or we can custom make a soft top for it.
Oh, you're right.
Or
wow, this one even has rust on the rear door. It's just like mine. It's proper.
Well, why would you cut one up that didn't have rust?
Fair enough.
Rust
makes it easier to cut.
You got to preserve those. What if we did like Miata style and we took the roof that you cut off and we made that reattachable?
Seems like that would be difficult. Soft top would probably be easier.
We could just go to Joann Fabric and we could get you like a Superman sort of thing.
Yeah, even if I had to do it manually, it'd still be better.
Well, why would you put a power to that? Would be such a headache. You would just need to build some roll bars. Like you could build 2 roll bars that go across, and then you could strap the soft top to those as well as your already existing A-pillars.
If you were a really good engineer, you could use the power lift gate opening or the power door opening mechanisms
to put the roof
to use the roof and use some gearing so that it like shoots it forward essentially.
Would the car be unhappy and no longer be able to operate its power doors because half of them would be missing?
Yes.
You think it would like the weight would throw it off and it would freak out?
I imagine that the rear doors no longer work on this car.
You just have to Drake and Josh style hop in.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you're right. You really would, especially for the rears. Gosh darn it. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Will, if you can find where this car exists now.
We're not buying it. Don't. Okay. I guess
I'm
only
at least curious.
You know, you should just start. You know what you should start doing? You should start buying a bunch of cars like this and start just putting them around the complex.
Oh yeah, because
you could fit in with all of the other people in this complex too.
Some people have Mercers, some people have Contours, some people have Town and Countries.
Some people also have Audis. There's a guy with Audis over there.
You're right.
Like 3 of them. One of them has a rust hole in the roof.
Yes.
Yeah.
The nice thing about Town and Countries, especially if they're equipped with stow and go, is you can just flatten the seats and use it as a house, which could not be said. Oh, a place to sleep. Cannot be said for a lot of those other cars that are sitting around.
I like the way you said that. Use it as a house.
I mean, divorced men listening to this podcast are like,
yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, BMW iX. I don't know how we got on that.
Yeah,
one.
I don't know.
Oh, cars that we detest.
Oh,
yeah.
right.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm curious what Chris will think of.
That's what I said. Is I feel like that would be tough for him because he doesn't really hate anything.
Well, I don't think it's necessarily that he doesn't hate things.
Because also when he hates stuff, he only hates things initially, and then he like figures out how not to hate, how not to hate it. Because like remember the Outback Wilderness? The day he got that car, he's like, "This is terrible. This is the worst car I've ever driven." And then like a week later, he was like, "Oh, it was kind of fun to drive. I was on a back road and it was really capable off road and blah blah blah." He always finds a positive.
Well, it's because he's a good perspective on life, and he doesn't hold on to negativity.
Right.
Yeah. So he won't cling. The only car I can think of, again, Subaru Ascent.
Still
Still doesn't care for that.
They can't do that in a cheap car challenge, though.
And the new Volkswagens with the infotainment systems, he still hates that.
He does hate those, yeah.
Yeah. So he's clung to those two things.
But he doesn't hate the car as a whole, though. He just hates the infotainment.
Right. So maybe he can think of a car from his
youth.
From his youth that was the aspect of it. Yeah.
I like the challenge idea where we all rebuy our first car, but it has to be like a really shitty version of it. So like I would get like a supercharged Cobalt SS.
Why does it have to be a shitty version? Just so it's cheap?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because then I kind of like the cheap car challenges where you can like door ding each other and like kind of hit each other at like 2 miles per hour and do some mild off roading or 20. No, that's airbag. 20 is airbags.
Yeah.
As much as I love the Car Trek with Ed, Hoovy, and Tavares, their cheap car challenges are always like $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 cars. And sometimes they're like $100,000 cars.
Yeah.
And while I appreciate their commitment to like have entertaining vehicles, my favorite cheap car challenges ever are when the cars are like less than $5,000.
Yeah. Yeah.
Those are my favorites. And I rarely see that. Even Top Gear got away from that. You never see the Grand Tour guys in any cheap cars anymore.
Except for the French car challenge. And that's why that one was so entertaining.
But that wasn't like a traditional cheap car challenge, though.
No, it wasn't. But you have to admit, when they were doing the off-roading part where they were just full sending their cars,
but
that was entertaining.
It was very entertaining, and I loved it. But it was like a 10-minute segment of the hour and a half program.
Right. Yeah, I agree.
I like the old days. Back in my day, I like the old days of Top Gear in like the early 2010s or like the late 2000s where they'd go out, Producers gave them 1,500 pounds, and they'd have to buy like a genuinely, like they would just go and buy like a used car.
They showed them flipping through the classifieds.
Yeah, those were my.
Jeremy was sitting at his computer in the office, and
they did, and I know the one you're talking about. They did one that was they had to find a first car for a teenager, and they had to buy it and insure it for less than £1,000.
Yeah,
I think it was for a year,
something like that.
And they got from some very realistic, like cheap.
That's the one
cars.
they had to e-brake around.
To impress women. The girls. Those were the days of Top Gear, man. My God,
it was a good blend of them, of good enough production quality and enough budget.
Yeah,
but not so much that they felt like too concerned about their.
And
image.
This is always where, when people blow up on YouTube, they always go crazy, and we're even seeing this now with Hoovy.
Yeah,
he's buying like less and less hoopties, and he's buying
real estate,
like Lamborghinis and built and real estate and stuff. And it's just like, God, I hope that we don't do that. I mean, we can obviously, if we ever are in the position to buy a GT4 or whatever, we can do so. But I don't want the whole channel to be like, we bought a Cayman GT4 and we're fucking doing all this stuff. I would rather have like more entertaining stuff that like the masses can appreciate.
Well, that's why when you said we were talking about it last week or whatever, and you were like, well, that wouldn't be a good car for the content. I said, yeah, if we buy fancy, expensive cars, it'll be for us.
We don't have to film.
And you know who actually does a pretty good job at that is Mark over at Savage Geese. He owns an Ariel Atom 4, an LC, I think he has an LC 500, all these cars, but you don't really see them very often on the channel because that's not his brand, and he's done a good job at not making that his brand.
Just normal car reviews.
Yeah. In fact, I've seen more I have seen his Ariel Atom update, but he did like an update on owning a Volvo XC90, which is useful for us to know because it's been very unreliable. And I could see the temptation on buying like a 2016 used XC90, and it's helpful. The other situation that's similar to what you were describing, but a little different, is brands like Car and Driver, where they have an image of being like an authority and kind of a mature sort of outlet. So they're scared to do more of that casual, just like winging it, simple type of videos sort of thing. No one wants to like quote unquote tarnish their image of being like a highbrow sort of
yawn.
And part of me gets it, but another part of it, you
might
lose
as well.
out on that.
Nothing's real. Just do whatever you want. Do you know who does a good job actually, and who I failed to mention, is Car Throttle. Do you ever watch them? Mm-hmm. So they're a British. I'm sure everyone listening knows what Car Throttle is, but they did a 500 pound or 1,000 pound or something cheap car challenge, and it was awesome. It was so good. Like I've watched it a couple of times. That's how good it was. And they actually just released a part 2 to that this week. But they legitimately went out and they bought cars for like 500 pounds or 1,000 pounds or whatever, and they drove across. They did like the NC 500 or whatever, which is like the top half or the bottom half of Great Britain.
Yeah.
And it reminded me of old Top Gear, and it was just like, just enough production quality. The cars were perfect. They have their banter back and forth and stuff, and it was really cool. So
Throttle House does some decent ones as well.
Oh, do they?
Yeah,
okay.
In Canada.
Yeah, there are some other channels that
right. But it's tough. You have to seek them out, and I mean, geez, even you way back in the day did a BMW cheap car challenge with your friends, and it was an entertaining video.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously the production quality was super cheap. It was like a college project and everything.
We did have a film crew though. We had 2 guys that followed us around and filmed us.
Right. And like you put in the effort, and it was entertaining to watch. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I agree that production quality and value is not needed necessarily. Like some of the cheaper stuff is better. Yeah. So it will be cool to actually do a used car challenge.
I would love to do a handful of them.
Right, and the first car one is a good call.
Yeah,
I'd have to buy a Taurus, which wouldn't be hard, but it would be entertaining because so many Tauruses.
What year was your Taurus?
02.
Oh God, there's walk out. Yeah, no, those are everywhere.
There's probably
still.
one sitting somewhere in this complex.
There's actually there's a Sable in the garage right now. It's pretty much the same thing.
Right, and there was a Taurus. Yeah.
Whatever happened to that thing?
I think he sold it. I think he did.
How much you want to bet it's going to return? I will bet you that it will return one day.
Yeah, you think so?
That exact Taurus will come back.
Damaged?
No, it's going to come back in the exact same condition.
Okay, fair enough. Just cycle through.
But you probably won't notice because it'll go back by the fence.
Touche. And it's silver, just like all
Gray,
the
it was
other
gray.
grayish, whatever. Used bullshit
I just
car.
feel like it didn't just get sold because it had like some issues. It'll come back.
Fair enough.
That's my prediction. Anyways, well, we
still haven't wrapped up the BMW iX.
good car.
Very fast.
Gold badges.
Yeah, gold badges. Frustrating climate control. Everything's in the infotainment,
Yes.
and you have to click the climate control thing, wait a quick sec. Also, you can't just get right in the car when you first start it and go to climate control because you have to press the OK button to let the car know that you're not going to use the screen in unsafe conditions. Then you have to wait a sec. Then you press the climate control. Then it loads up. Then you have to make sure you're on the right section.
I don't like the minimalism that everybody's going towards.
Yeah.
Yes, it's pretty, but I just at what point does like usability just not matter any? Like it just I don't get it.
I hope it's kind of a phase, kind of like
I hope so,
in
too.
the 80s there was a phase of doing all the like silly tech, like
Digital dash and
digital
crazy
dash
shit.
and voices, computer voices that tell you to put your seatbelt on and stuff.
Do you notice the Audis? If you get
Tells you
out,
if you leave your phone in
your
there.
mobile device is in the wireless charger.
That's the one that I do appreciate, actually.
Oh, I
though.
appreciate that too. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. What else about the iX? The Bowers and Wilkins sound system was good.
4D.
However, I actually preferred the Harman Kardon in the i4 better.
That's the best Harman Kardon I've ever heard.
Yeah,
You gave
Harman
that S
has
tier,
been-
didn't you?
Yeah. Harman Kardon has been stepping up their game.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm really impressed by it, at least in BMWs. All the 2022 or 23 model year cars that aren't a 3 or 4 series have had excellent sound systems. Like
Well, the i4 is a
ARS
4
too.
series though.
Yeah, that's interesting. But the i4 has got to be really different.
Mm-hmm.
I know it looks like an i4 or a 4 series, but I bet you like the guts are quite different. And also it has iDrive 8, whereas the previous 4 series
right.
have had So yeah, it's
Don't like iDrive 8. Don't like it.
it's a little overwhelming when you go into the menu, isn't it?
It gives me anxiety.
There's like
looking at it.
50
There's
different
just
apps.
so much.
It is a lot.
It's like giving your grandfather an iPad.
Yes. That is
He
a good
learns
way
how
put
to
it.
use it eventually,
But he still
he's
doesn't like
very overwhelmed at first, and
scared to press anything that
and
he doesn't
scared
know
to
exactly
touch
what to
anything
do.
because he doesn't want to screw it up.
Yeah. That is the only reason that young people are better at technologies, because we're not afraid to break things. And that we grew up with it and we're a little more familiar. But like you have to be willing to break like a tech thing to like figure out how to use it. You just press everything until you figure it out.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Yeah. And old people just don't like to do that. Because they grew up in a day where like you'd get sent the owner manual to something and you'd like read through it. Good luck reading through the owner's manual of an iPhone. Like you have to just be willing to
Accept
like
terms and conditions.
Yeah, you do that, and then like, oh, I bet you this setting is somewhere in the settings screen. Click, and then go through 15 menus, and you can do it so fast because you don't have arthritis, and it's just
Yet.
that's how you operate any new device, and that is what iDrive 8 and the iX is like. Is you have to be willing to sit in your parking lot for 10 minutes and just click everything until you're like, okay, I have a general idea of how this works. Now I can drive my car.
I had to do that with radar cruise distance, which may have been the most frustrating thing.
Yeah, this thing's got radar adaptive cruise. Not a new concept at all here in 2022. And yet you can't adjust the following distance from the wheel. But it's not like they were full of, like the space was full on the left side of the steering wheel.
There's room for
There's
it.
plenty of room for buttons because there are 10 buttons on the right side of the wheel and only 4 on the left. And yet you have to go into the infotainment screen. I sound like Nathan at this point. To go into the infotainment screen just to change your following distance. How is that safe?
Maybe it's a chip thing. Because
There's a chip shortage on left side wheel buttons.
left side inner steering wheel buttons, chip shortage. But yeah, so I figured that out while I was going down the highway. Luckily, I had Emily with me, so
you
she
didn't
could
crash and
kind
die.
of like. Although the car does a pretty good job. As long as you're holding on, it'll drive for you.
That's the other thing, is you can't just casually touch the bottom of the steering
No, you
wheel,
can't.
or else it freaks
You have
out
to
at
give it
you
pressure.
in semi-autonomous driving mode. You have to firmly grasp it.
Oh, firmly grasp it.
Yeah, so I like the car, but I would rather have the i4.
Yeah. Well, yeah, me too.
Yeah.
And then I would get a different front fascia for it.
Yes. Yeah, you're right. That would be so cool. In fact, holy shit. I bet you we could make YouTube dollars if we purchased an i4 and then like refasciated it.
Yeah. I think, well, there's companies that do it for the M3 and the M4. So I'm sure there's one for just a 4 Series. The only thing that I would worry about is
a
how
sensor.
much tech is in the
Yeah.
is in the kidneys.
Right.
Yeah. So you probably wouldn't be able to do it.
But if we did,
But if we did,
million YouTube dollars.
million YouTube dollars.
And
Successful internet video.
this is the, let's go real quick. I'll show you the i4 that we're getting in a few weeks. I'm excited
Ooh,
about
I hope
this.
it's tan.
It isn't.
Oh, dang it.
I believe it's
There was a really
silver.
cool one. So we went to like this, what was that event we went to last year in Detroit?
I have to make a new pass. It was
was
the
a really-
i4 and iX like local reveal, like launch party.
The i4 was cool. It was like tan and it just looked...
Was
Nice.
it tan? There was a blue one there. Oh, there was also a burgundy.
Oh, maybe it was blue.
Yeah.
Was it?
The iX was burgundy-ish tan. The i4 was blue, I think. It was
Was
a
it blue?
light blue.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But we're not
I
going to
thought-
be able to
oh
bring up the
God,
one
what was
we're
that?
getting. What do you mean? Oh, the new i7? Have you seen that?
No.
Oh, that's surprising. It's their all-electric 7 Series.
That is, to use James May's word, gopping. 536 horsepower. Oh, it looks better from that angle, actually.
Kind of looks like a Lincoln Continental.
Yeah, it does. I'm waiting for that to grow on me. I'm sure it will someday. Maybe.
Sure, well, when you drive it and you're like, oh, a 7 Series.
That's a good color. I'm already ready for them to facelift this car though, because I think that they'll have like.
Don't you
learned-
mean...
Sorry, life cycle impulse. I'm excited for that. 3 more years, 2 or 3 more years.
I wonder if it has climate controls you can use.
Oh God, why? Just making me less look forward to this car.
Anyway, that's the i7.
No one's driven that yet, have they?
No, it's like brand spanking. new.
Anyways, i4.
i4.
Are you gonna build our spec?
Yep, I'm gonna build it because I've already done this like 3 times. We're getting the i4 eDrive 40 starting at $56,000. Build your own. The good thing with BMWs is it offers a ton of options that you don't need, like M Sport. You just skip right over that.
I'm guessing that's what we have though.
Yes, of course.
Why didn't you put that on so we can see?
No, I'm not showing what we're getting. I'm showing
you're
what we're
speccing
getting.
your own.
Yes, I would get San Remo Green Metallic because green is good.
Ooh, that's pretty.
Yes, exactly. Although I will admit I am a fan of
Sunset
this
orange.
Aventurin Red Metallic as well, but I'm not going to pay an extra $1,000 for it. So $650 for green. We're of course going to
I
leave
like
the
those wheels.
18-inch wheels on there. We're not paying more for less sidewall because that's preposterous.
Yeah, I like those wheels anyways.
Yeah, they look good.
Don't
For
like the black interior though.
This is tough because I would like to go with this Sensatech. You know,
Wow, that's a spec.
Right.
They let you do that?
Yeah. Green.
Oh,
I have a
dude.
green exterior with a red interior, but I've got to go with leather, and I'll tell you why. Because I want to have the premium package to get the cooled seats. But admittedly, if you went without the cooled seats, you could just stick with the non-real leather. But we're getting
I'd
the
probably get
Vernasco
cognac.
leather.
I like that red is crazy, but I'd probably go for cognac.
I'd probably get
Or mocha, sorry. Yeah, I'd go mocha.
Yeah, mocha's very nice, but I'm going with the red. That's what we're gonna have, and then
No one is gonna have this spec.
we're getting the high gloss. I could go either open pore oak grain or the high gloss fine wood ash.
I like the
gray
open
brown.
pore because it takes away some of the glare on the
Okay,
interior.
we'll go open wood. I'll do that for you. Yep. And then we've got the premium package already on there because of the leather. That gives us
Why is it
heated front seats and ambient lighting.
Why is it removing things?
It's not. If I collect
if
this
you-
little
if you
X, I do.
remove it.
Yeah. Definitely not paying $1,000 for black trim. Don't need a head-up display. Don't need a Sensatech dashboard. Front ventilated seats. Oh, that's what it is. You can't have red with ventilated seats. So if I wanted
Why
ventilated
can't
seats,
everyone just be like Porsche and let you do whatever
do whatever you want? No, but you could still get the mocha. So you have to choose. Do you want the red or do you want the ventilated? I'm gonna go with
What
the
is
red for this one.
What does the color have to do with
Who
getting
knows,
ventilated
man?
seats?
Who knows?
Is
They
it
probably
a,
only build
is
certain
it
ventilated seats.
a chip shortage for red leather?
I would pay the extra $1,000 for the LED headlights because I think lighting is a safety aspect and I would like my best lighting. $200 for wireless device charging. Why not? Harman Kardon, absolutely. It's the best thing about that car for $875.
Don't you want blue calipers?
I'm not going to spend $650 on blue M Sport calipers. And that is it. That is a $61,000 car, which is expensive, but for a 3-4 series
You and
right now
Alyssa should get one of these.
is not bad. We have been considering it because you can still get the $7,500 tax credit, so that lops off quite a bit. And this thing has a 300-mile range.
Hey, why would you buy a Tesla? When you could
You'd
get
pay
this?
more for a Model 3 spec like this than you would for this. And the Tesla would not be green with red interior.
And you don't look like a douchebag driving around.
Yeah. I mean, you're still driving a
You look
BMW.
good,
So it's
yeah.
not great. But
I think this is less douchebag than a Tesla. And
Yeah.
I'm sorry if anyone with a Tesla is listening.
that's
Matthew,
okay. I
sorry.
owned a Tesla. Matthew should.
Teslas are just so freaking douchey at this point.
I like how you can see the red leather through
That
the
spec is
windows.
insane. I think you'd have to go mocha if you were actually going to buy it, though.
Can you imagine walking down the street? You'd double take if you saw this parked. You'd be like,
It's like
red leather inside that
Sultan of
green
Brunei
vehicle."
spec.
I think this is what we'll get. The problem is, if I were to build the spec and order it from my BMW dealer, I wouldn't receive it for another year. So maybe I should order it.
Can you order BMWs?
Why not?
Like, can you just go in and order them? Because you can't do that with Lexus, as it turns out.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure you could try. The other thing I'd want to try to do, and I don't know if you can do this for pleb cars like this, but I'd want to try to do Germany delivery.
Oh, you might be able to.
Yeah. I should reach
Why
out
not?
to, we should sell our Maverick for $34,000. And then,
God, is it worth that much?
yeah, Carvana offered me 34.
So it's worth more. So
it's worth $5,000 more than I paid for it out the door.
Well, that's giving it to Carvana. Carvana would sell it for like 38.
Yeah. Yeah, Mavericks are ridiculous right now.
I don't
It's a
get
great
it.
truck. I love our Maverick.
I just don't get it because like the whole point of a Maverick is that it's supposed to be cheap. And you can feel that when you drive it. It's cheap.
Well, you have to consider that inflation.
I know.
Consumer price index has gone up like
know.
10% in the last year.
No,
So,
but you could just go get a Ranger and it's bigger.
but the Ranger's worse. The Ranger has like
Yeah, but it can do more.
But that's the thing with the Maverick. It's not about what you can do. It's about how owning it is.
I guess so.
Better
It's
fuel
more
economy,
efficient,
more comfortable.
It's more comfortable.
Looks better.
It
Well,
looks
it doesn't
better.
really looks better.
No,
Ranger doesn't
I
look
think it
bad.
looks better. I think the
Really?
Maverick looks better. Yeah.
Okay. It's easier to drive. It's easier to park. It's easier to get in and out of. Don't you know?
It's more millennial and Gen Z-ish.
Look at
It's easier to park.
Look at what
It's
Alyssa did
smaller.
with her millennial Maverick.
She put a magnet on the door.
Well, not just that. Look at what she did yesterday. Different account.
I always like when all of your personal information pops up on here.
Yes. You can just look at it from the screen. She got flowers in the back of the Maverick.
That's literally what the Maverick is intended to do, is to buy flowers.
Is to pick up flowers.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she is truly doing truck stuff. And then I think you saw what I did with the Maverick. Oh, we also did this weekend. We put blankets in the back because that's what people are supposed to do with the Maverick and sit in the back.
Those are in-laws?
Yes, they are. In fact, we actually ended up rolling our Truxedo Century
out.
CT cover out a little bit, and we sat on the roof and put our feet on the tonneau cover. That was the best way to view the air show. That was quite nice. And then we also did this. We had a full couch.
Now
in the
you
back.
sent me this with no context, and I was like, "Oh, all right." 2 couches, or is it 1 couch and a half?
It's a 2-piece couch put together.
Where did you get that? Facebook Marketplace.
Facebook Marketplace.
It looks like a nice couch.
Mm-hmm. It was a very nice couch. We put it in our basement. That was our old couch that needed to be removed because
Is it mold?
Mice.
Oh,
Been miced up.
I hate mice.
Yeah, mice.
They're
suck.
so
mice
cute.
and deer are awful.
Mice and deer, very cute. Hate them.
Hate them so much. Burning passion. Yeah. Shout out Briarwood Appraisals if you need an appraisal done, Southeastern Michigan.
Go see Alyssa.
Go see Alyssa at Briarwood Appraisals, and she'll show up in the Maverick with the couch in the back.
Yeah.
Promise.
Oh yeah, the couches are permanent.
Yeah.
What Charlie didn't tell you is that couch is not leaving the back of the Maverick.
We have to take it out, do
Yeah.
the other truck things, and put it back in, and we're done. Yeah. It
Well-
helps balance the truck out.
Part of the appraisal is Alyssa takes the couch out of the back of the Maverick and she sits down and she does the appraisal on the couch.
Right there, yeah,
and then she
right on the
loads the
couch.
couch back into the Maverick and straps it down.
If she
when
had
she
a
leaves.
Ranger, she'd have to lift it so much higher into the
Oh,
back
it'd
of
be
the bed.
so much harder to
So
get it
much
in.
more difficult. Yes.
And you don't get an old man step on the Ranger, do you?
I don't believe you do.
And you don't need an old man step on the Maverick because
No,
it's
you
so
just
low down.
step right in. It's practically the same height as the old man step on the F-150.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So Maverick, good car. BMW iX, also good car. This week, speaking of good cars, we have a Cadillac. A Cadillac XT4.
Now, I've never even interacted, been close, touched, looked at closely an XT4. And Charlie is making me very excited.
Yeah, I really shouldn't be predisposing you at all to the, because I should allow you to create your own like raw first impression.
Well, I just know if it's anything like the Buick Envision, I'm going to want to blow my brains out driving it.
Yeah, that's probably about what you're gonna
Do they
want to
make it in China?
I don't think so.
No, they build it in Kansas. Nope.
Yes.
Hold on.
Oh, there is an
Some
assembly
of them
in
are made
China.
in China.
Yep. Built by, designed by Therese Pinazzo.
I don't think that it's ugly. I think it looks
it's
fine.
not an ugly car.
I think it's actually from the back. I think it's quite an attractive SUV.
Yeah, it's okay. Does it show?
What engine does ours have? They probably
All
all
new, turbocharged 2-liter turbo.
Oh, in Europe you can get a diesel.
Of course, Europe is better. Maximum output 237 horsepower and 258 pound-feet of torque. Not too bad.
At least they're creative and gave it a 2-liter turbo.
And it has a 9-speed. And we know 9 speeds are good.
Nope.
Oh, look at the related car, Buick Envision.
Okay.
Where is I want to bring up the Car and Driver first drive real quick, because I remember we had this car at Car and Driver when when it first came out.
Were they harsh on it?
Yeah, and they had to figure out how to be
Nice.
kind of nice.
Is more smooth than sporty. Well, that's not a bad thing.
Oh, this is the first drive. We wanted I
like that orange. Ours is white, isn't it?
I think it is.
Yawn.
Yeah.
Does it at least have a cool colored interior?
I don't know, and I
not.
can't tell because I have to reset my password.
Isn't it like 60 grand or something stupid?
It's $57,000. Yeah,
Jeez.
and that's where it gets weird, because if you consider the fact that the Q3 that we have right now is only 49. It's almost $10,000 more. It's about the same size. Also has a 2-liter turbo.
Oh Lord. Yeah.
Yeah. The weird thing is with GM vehicles is they always price them too high, but they immediately put money on the hood. They do that intentionally. It'll be the brand new first release model year of a car, and you'll be able to get $1,500 cash back. So they make
so they're Kohl's.
Yes, exactly. It's the Kohl's strategy. Mark the price up and then say it's on sale. Yeah, that's what GM does. It's
God, Americans are so stupid.
I know, it's a shame.
I'm looking forward to
Experiencing
driving it. I don't know what really to expect.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I do, but
no, you form your own opinions.
I will form my
that's
own
important.
opinions. I am not a sheep.
Right, and you have been graced a little bit by the love of our Lord, because you were going to also have to be in a Toyota Tacoma in, what was the name of the color?
Electric green.
Electric green, but now you will no longer have to be.
I've got
You have a Lexus
So we're also-
IS350.
Yeah.
So when
the
you
Tacoma got a puncture.
Yeah, which actually, the more I thought about it, is remarkable that a nail went all the way through a Tacoma tire, a TRD Pro Tacoma tire. Those boys are thick.
Could have done a sidewall.
It's hard to get a nail through a sidewall, but yes, it's possible.
Yeah.
Whereas we got a nail in the IX, and it's the tire's probably razor thin, so it's just
Yeah.
But you drive a Tacoma around expecting you to not get punctures, but puncture nonetheless.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the IS350 should be nice. We can bring that up real quick.
So, hilariously, the only new IS I've driven is the IS 500.
Yeah,
And I've only
and it was
briefly driven the IS 500. I've driven a few of them, but all of the instances have been very brief.
At least you managed not to put it in the wall of a track.
That's right. So, actually, the first IS 500 I ever drove was the one that moments later was crashed into a wall.
Yes.
Not by me, by somebody else.
I find the IS350 to be a very attractive car.
It's so pretty.
Yeah.
Also, it looks like it has red interior, which is good.
Yes, we've established that so far this podcast. Red interior, good. Nice wheels, very good.
Those are pretty. Oh,
Yeah.
new info. Well, not new infotainment.
New enough.
Newish.
Yeah. Yeah. The better spec is one of our subscribers, Jonathan, purchased a blue one, like that nice, bright, vibrant blue.
Yeah.
It looked very good.
I love the IS. I hope that they never kill it.
Well, you own an IS.
Oh, maybe I could.
You should do a comparison test.
Yeah, I really should.
We should
I
absolutely.
put
do a
insurance on it last week, so
Perfect.
it's good to go.
This IS350 all-wheel drive.
I'll just have to move literally 10
cars.
cars to get it out of the garage.
So for $5,000 less than that Cadillac, you could have this IS350 F Sport all-wheel drive. And you would.
I want to tell people to go themselves if they buy the Cadillac instead of this.
And you get an 1,800 watt premium Mark Levinson 17 speaker sound system.
Is that S tier?
I don't
Probably
think
A.
so.
A,
Yeah, it's
B.
like A at best. Yeah. power tilt and telescopic steering wheel, which is good because it costs over $15,000 or $50,000.
F Sport suspension tuning.
Yeah, well, this is an F Sport handling model, I think. Whatever it is.
The LX 600 at Mama was an F Sport handling.
Why would you want F Sport handling?
F Sport handling.
This cracks me up. I mentioned this, I think, in the review of some car we were shooting last week. But it's funny that the U.S. government will give a 5-star crash test rating to a vehicle that gets 4 stars in 2 of its categories.
No, it was one that... Last week it was one that had...
3...
No, it was 4. It was 4 of the 5 categories were 4-star. One of them was 5-star, and it overall
was
was 5-star.
That's so American.
It must be if it's 4 point something, they round it up to 5.
Because that's how math works.
Yes.
4.2,
5.
Give it
round
5. Super safe car. Safest car you can buy.
Yeah.
Yep. Do you have any Copart vehicles for us?
Yes, I do.
Oh, wow.
Yes, I do.
Is it
We
a
only
Bentley?
have a few minutes left, but
Yes, that's okay.
It's fine.
Bring us to
Also, you're
Copart.com.
welcome. For finding some of these because it majorly cut down on the amount of time I slept last night.
I
I would have been up anyways. It's
Is
fine.
the Ford Festiva still available?
Yes, it is.
Really? Can we bring that up and look at it
is.
again?
Of course. We should look at this every week till it sells.
I agree.
488
I'll get the number memorized.
682 52. We should play those numbers in the lottery.
There you go. It's pure sale now.
It's always been pure sale.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, you're
People
right.
keep buying this and then they realize how much it is and then they keep backing out. That's my theory. Unless, why else would it have not sold 2 weeks in a row?
Yeah, I don't know. It's pure sale with bids on it.
So
Current
weird.
bid is 500, which means someone's willing to shell out, well,
Almost
maybe
$1,000.
unknowingly, $1,000. Although if it's a dealer, it would be a little less because
Yeah.
they wouldn't have to pay quite as much in fees. But still there.
But
still
as
a
we
piece of
talked
shit.
about last week, what dealer would want this? What scrapyard would
You're
want
right.
this?
It has to be an enthusiast.
It has to go to an enthusiast that's going to drive it or autocross it or whatever.
Lemons it.
Lemons, yeah. Are you ready for another
I am ready
comedy
for another.
vehicle? I think we should actually buy this one.
Oh, boy.
That's just my opinion. 493 927 22.
This is a 2003 Pontiac Aztek in yellow.
Yeah.
Bright yellow. Is it not in Flint? Yay, it's in Detroit,
No, it's in Detroit.
not Flint.
This looks like, so when you
Pure
go to
sale,
the pictures of
$0 run and drive front.
it doesn't look like it's damaged that bad.
Not bad at all.
It doesn't look bad. It's just the bumper's just pushed over because they hit something pretty low down. Why does the interior look like mossy oak camo? Is it just like the print that they put
I'm
on
sure
it?
they did that back then. Yeah, that was probably just a thing.
Look how clean the engine bay is. Go to the
Okay.
engine bay. This is a clean car. Someone took care of this.
Yeah,
It looks pretty nice.
honestly, not too bad. And a yellow car. I've always wanted to own a yellow car.
Yeah, me too.
Only 100,000 miles on it. Look how cool
Yeah,
those
and
gauges are.
if we go to the auto check,
I will do so momentarily after looking through more of the mossy seats.
Yep.
Yeesh.
I can just tell you, 3 owners, but the first owner owned it for almost 12 years.
Wow. Really loved this car.
And then second owner for 3 years, third owner for nearly 5 years. So I think it's had some owners that were all enthusiasts that just liked the Aztek.
Does this right front wheel look normal to you?
Yes, because go to the driver's side. It's also turned in the same.
But doesn't it look cambered in? Or am I just imagining
I
that
don't think
because
it
of the
does.
angle of the photo?
I mean, worst case scenario, you put a control arm on it.
Oh, yeah,
know.
I suppose you're right. Yeah, this honestly, you should keep an eye on this tonight. It goes to bid tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
I mean, if you could buy it for less than
Maybe you should just
$1,000,
throw a Charlie bid on it real quick.
I really don't have a ton of money right now.
Neither do I. I just bought a Roadster.
You did buy them Roadster.
I have 7 cars.
If I could get,
I'm not bidding on this.
if I could get the Escape sold quickly, which I do plan on getting it fixed next week.
From Keone?
I don't care. Someone's got to fix it. I'll probably just take it to the shop because I don't think it's going to happen from Keone. So
Do it.
$175 would be about $400 all out the door, right?
I can tell you.
For a presumably running car with 100,000 miles.
I mean, you could just scrap it and break even. So whatever.
Scrap is pretty low right now, though.
That's true.
It's only like $175 for a ton.
So wait, you'd bid $175 on it?
Yeah.
Out the door, you'd be $405.98.
That's with the 6% sales tax?
Yep. Come on, it's $400. Oh, you have to sign it.
Y'all are witnessing the beginning of the end for my marriage.
I favorited this on purpose.
Whoa. Starting bid just bumped up to 325 increment.
Oh.
Maybe
you know
because
why?
we're only
you
dealers
signed in, and I bet only dealers can bid that low. A non-dealer probably has to bid 325, which out the door would be
like 700,
800
800 maybe even.
615.33.
$615 to have a Pontiac Aztek. If we could get 2 winding road videos out of the way on it, that's $240 back.
Yeah, a day and a night drive. What about an off-road drive? Is it all-wheel drive?
Probably.
It's front-wheel drive.
They made these front-wheel drive?
Yeah. Day and a night drive, that takes off some of the money.
That's $240.
Yeah.
And then daily motor videos, and then selling it. Even if we scrapped it at that point, it would be about a break even. The problem is I'm not out of town till Thursday, so I wouldn't be able to go pick this up this week.
It looks so clean. Doesn't it look so clean?
It's pure sale too. How many you have to pick up within like the first 3 days of the auction concluding, right?
I believe it's 3 days, yeah. Or you can pay like $100 to get it shipped from Detroit.
Yeah. It's front-wheel drive, which means we could use that sketchy dolly, same one we used at the Escape.
Oh, the dolly's going away.
Good.
It's getting sold.
That's good.
It may already be sold, actually.
Okay, fair enough.
Why don't you think about it? Bid on it on the plane.
I thought you were going to say bid on it, and then you can think about it.
No, just bid on it on the plane.
That's smart. Okay. Well, if you see a bid happen later today, you can text me.
Know that it's you.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Were there more Copart cars?
Actually, yeah. There's one with a buy it now that I wanted to show.
Okay.
And then we'll be good. 472-603-02.
This is a 2004 BMW 330 Ci. Now, I've always wondered, what does the C mean in
Coupe.
these?
Two-door.
Okay.
C just means it's a two-door.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is a convertible, however.
Yep.
And it's pretty cool.
Yep.
Unfortunately, it's an automatic.
Runs and drives.
Front now,
end, $1,200.
Damage doesn't seem awful.
No, it just needs a hood.
This would make for a neat Lemons car, and then drive it as a convertible with
Do they let you run convertibles in Lemons? I don't think they do.
Yeah, because Miatas run convertibles all.
Do people run Miatas in Lemons?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You just have to roll
You have a
cage
roll
the
cage.
shit out of it.
Yeah. Well, because you have to have a roll cage.
You have to have a roll
hole
cage
in
anyways.
it.
Yeah. Might get hot though, having the sun on you the whole time you're out there.
Yeah, but you have the air flowing. 1,200 buy it now, which means you could. It's a minimum bid, but your minimum bid probably be like 800, 1,000.
Probably 1,000.
Yeah. Okay. Also in Detroit. It's probably just.
I'm gonna send this to Keone because I feel like this is something he might be interested in.
Yeah, he could flip and flop various things. If it were a manual, it would be a steal.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, but I think it would be easier to sell a convertible as an automatic. Though.
Yeah, no, you're totally right. But I mean to own and this would be a cool car for Alyssa.
Literally throw a hood on it and send it.
Yeah. Very cool. Interior looks like it's in good shape.
Yeah, I'm actually gonna send this to him right now.
Nice.
I meant to send it to him last night, but it was like 3 a.m, so I was like, oh, I'll probably wait.
I like when they show photos of the car idling. That's good.
Yeah, I don't think there's any warning lights.
Battery was probably dead though because the Odo's zeroed out.
Oh, the zeroed out, yeah, and the headlights are out too. You can see the warning lights for those.
Cool.
Which they could have broken from the crash, I guess.
Perhaps. Yeah, they look in pretty good shape though. I don't know. It could just be bulbs that are expensive because might those have had HIDs? Sometimes those HIDs are very expensive to swap out, or the xenons or whatever.
True.
Yeah, the halos. Neat. Well, thank you all so much for listening. I am going to head to the airport now to go
6 minutes.
See the new Civic Type R.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to drive it. Just look at it and be like, ooh.
For 45 minutes.
Yeah. And then after the 20th, which is in a few days, y'all will be able to hear about it.
Yeah.
So thank you all so much for listening and watching, some of you. We'll see you on the next one. We're Chris and Charlie with Daily Motor, and as always,
drive on. Thank you for that.
You're welcome. out.